My name is Braden Vera. I'm the president of Claw Gaming and Weber State Esports.
I'm Nick Budge. I'm the Overwatch captain for the Esports club.
My first introduction to esports was League of Legends. I started playing in 2013. How I got involved at Weber State was I was pledging for a fraternity and we were walking to our meeting and I noticed the League of Legends club booth. It was just one guy and no one was really talking to him and he didn't really have many things. He just had like a little League of Legends statue and a little sign-up paper. So I looked over to one of my friends, Colton actually, who's in the club now, and I'm like, I want to make that club cool again. I sent him an email. I said, let's like meet up, let's talk about it, because I think this club can be something way cooler than it is right now. So we met one day, and that's when I became the vice president. And then literally the next day, we got an email from ICE inviting us to our tournament. We went to ICE, we brought a couple teams, and then we learned about TESPA, we learned about all the other colleges and what they're doing. Over the summer, me and Colton decided, like, let's transition this to an esports club. And there's like a huge potential with that. We were seeing all these other clubs growing and getting big, University of Utah. So we changed it to Weber State Esports. We came up with the Claw Gaming, and it's kind of been crazy after that.
I think this is my second semester doing it as the Overwatch captain. I've noticed a lot of change between the two semesters. That it's growing, and it used to kind of have a negative stigma to play video games, but I feel like that's kind of going away, and now it's the thing to do. It's something you can do with anybody. It doesn't matter how physically capable they are, as long as they have the tools necessary to play the game. You can basically do anything.
I don't want to be the one that says like esports and sports are the same thing. I think they're very different things. But like I said, it's a lot more accessible. You don't have to be 6'3" to play Overwatch. You don't have to have a perfect arm, like a quarterback to play League of Legends.
Much like any other club, it gives you extracurricular opportunities. It gives you an opportunity to be social and to connect with other people at Weber. I feel like it's one thing that can help connect the entire school, regardless of I'm going into nursing, I'm going into accounting, whatever you may be going into.
So what's your major?
I'm actually going into accounting.
It's actually surprisingly pretty good mix of majors. I'm a communications major. I'm not into computer science at all. We have quite a few digital media majors. We have quite a few art majors. Engineering majors is actually a pretty popular one. I don't think there's like a requirement. You don't have to be a computer science major to be into gaming, so it's just like almost anybody. One of our League of Legends captain, he's like, you guys ever see those posters, the dance posters, where it's that guy who's like jumping up? That's him. So he's like, it's just, there's no requirement to be into gaming, so it's like anybody and everybody.
They already have a very diverse group of students.
Yes.
They are not all from one specific department or one area. They're from all over the university.
I'm Drew Tyler. I'm an instructor of digital media here at Weber State University.
And I'm Robin Hazlett. I'm an instructor of PR and advertising here, and I'm also work with digital media in various aspects.
So what's been your involvement, each of you, I guess, with the Claw Gaming Club here on campus?
I talked with them a bit before they kind of launched officially. I worked with them to kind of help design logos and stuff, but I've been supporting them in any way that I can because their digital media output, I guess, is not too far off from what I teach everybody, how to monetize digital skills. And so having that team kind of grow and they have been amazing at their drive and their passion. So I've been just there whenever they need advice or help to kind of get things moving, but they've been moving mountains by themselves.
Yeah, they've been truly impressive. I've been helping out with the marketing and advertising strategies, a little bit with their events and advice on how to do a little bit of the, not necessarily monetize, but more of the getting the word out that this is a thing and we're trying to start this up.
A lot of student groups will kind of start themselves, and I've seen a lot that will last a semester or two, and it's pretty rare for one to have the longevity. But they also come from very, very small niche markets. Claw Gaming, when they came together, they came strong. They had like 30 or 40 students like ready to go, and they were already practicing. They're already making things happen. And they said, well, let's just organize this formally at Weber State. And so then they kind of started to step through the procedures and the policies of getting something set up officially as a club and an organization. And to do that, you've got to have some formal like faculty representation. And so we've been happy to help out with that. But they really like their engines were roaring before they even found us.
So you've heard about the lab.
I've heard. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on kind of that idea of having a lab that's set aside for gaming?
I think it's fantastic. I think we need to do what we can to grow it.
Which Weber State's amazing at, I mean, just being forward thinking and saying, what do the students need? And I feel like Weber State's done an amazing job of keeping it very even playing field. We do see a lot of money going into athletics, but they're not afraid to put money into digital media, into storytelling, and into esports, right? These types of things that feel like they're giving everybody a chance. Something like esports, just like athletics, you have resources that you need. You can't train a team, you can't get them moving forward unless you have an ability to get the team to play together. To do that, you need a lab that has computers that are networked a proper way with the right amount of processor power and ability to kind of keep people together. That lab can be used for any number of things, any other day of the week, but it also has the guts to make the team able to function, right? I mean, that's kind of the important part. And what I love is that Weber just said, sure, we've got space for a lab. Let's go ahead and kick in this extra little bit to make sure the lab has some longevity, because labs happen all over campuses, all over. We have many of them, and not all of them are able to function in that kind of LAN setting that you need for esports. So for Weber to come out and say, yeah, let's take that space and turn it into an e-lab, that's not much skin off their teeth, but it's going to make a big difference for the team.
What do you think the potential is of being able to have this lab be a place where we could broadcast competitions?
I think that we're at a place now within the planning that if they bring in the right person, you could probably set that up properly to begin with, but really it's just part of the planning to make sure that you have camera coverage and screen captures, for all the machines. And they do it all over the place. So, the ideas are out there and it's not that difficult to pull off, but it's when you're planning the lab that you want to make sure that stuff's in the works, because again, it's one of those future-proof things. If you have a lab that's for your esports team, you might as well put in an extra couple of grand to make sure that you can broadcast from there, because the internet is going more and more live video. Like if you look around, almost everybody's trying to do something live, and the reason why is because we're so used to like catching what we want on Netflix or Hulu when we want it, that we're missing out on like sporting events. There's a lot of things that happen live that we either wait for it to come out later or we just miss it because we're not subscribed. All these cable cutters, right? But live streaming has kind of taken its place and it's taken off. And so that's the answer, is that it makes sense for somebody that can see that vision to say, okay, we can pay this much and get a lab to get our team practicing and going, or we can pop in this much and it's the lab that they need and a lab that'll last us for a little bit longer and still allow us to broadcast and serve and share. And that's part of the marketing. If you have a team that's playing and nobody gets to see them or watch them except for other people's tournaments, they're not going to be able to gather the traction and the audience base that will serve them or bring in the eyeballs or the marketing dollars. So that little bit of investment has a huge ROI.
Right, they need to absolutely have the ability to keep up their following, not just at tournaments, but maybe even like during practices.
Yeah, watch
things
a
like that.
skirmish,
Watch the banter. And that's a huge, huge aspect of keeping a following, the ROI like you were saying, and also for the fact that you have to be able to have audience engagement. Yeah. Because something like live streaming, like you were saying, it's taking the place of this idea of something that is happening right now, like these live sporting events. Like I can watch the football game that happened yesterday and watch it now, and it is not the same.
You may not, you may already know the ending or how it comes out.
You either may already know the ending.
That's why we watch live, right? And we want to know, like, what's going on?
And I want to talk to other people at the same time who are watching the exact same thing, and they can go, oh, with me. And I don't want to be alone in that. And that's a huge aspect of audience engagement, is the temporality of it.